So I really hope I got everybody with that title, but what's going on, guys? I got a video, as you can see from the title, on the recent Naganadel ban. Naganadel. I don't even know how to say it. That might be why I banned it, you know what I mean? Nah, I'm just playing around, but yup, let's hop into this video. It's basically about the Naganadel ban in OU. As you can see, it was banned a moment ago. I knew it was getting banned, so I wanted to make a video on it, talk about why it got banned, my thoughts on it. And basically, I did this video in the past for when things got banned. I think I did it for, I know for a fact I did it for Baton Pass. I might have done it for Doug Trio, but I'm not 100% sure if I did. And basically why I did these videos is not to be like, oh, you should be happy it got banned, and this is like the right opinion. It's basically just to educate people as to why it got banned. Because I feel like a lot of people see something gets banned and then they just instantly complain about it and they don't understand why it got banned. You can disagree with something, but when the reasoning is completely garbage, think my last video on Smogon, Smogon does it again. Think about stuff like that, and then that's why I wanted to make this video. So Naganadel, if you don't know, this Pokemon's been around for a week. Came out in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and it was by far the best offensive Pokemon in the tier. Like, just plainly the best Pokemon in the tier. It was the Poison Dragon, and the set that basically pushed it over the edge was Nasty Plot plus Dragonium Z. Now, Naganadel, as you guys know, had a very good special attack stat of 127, very good speed of, I believe, 121, if I'm not wrong. And the move pool was fantastic. Poison, Dragon, and Fire type coverage was able to basically net almost everything super effectively, besides Tyranitar and Heatran and stuff like that. And then it was also a very hard mon to check offensively, of course, thanks to Beast Boost giving it speed boosts. So let's look at some calcs. This is kind of nice because it kind of shows you, how strong this mon truly was. So look at stuff like Chansey. You Nasty Plot as they switch to Chansey. You Nasty Plot again as they, go for a Seismic Toss. And now they're doing 85 to 99%, basically meaning with Stealth Rock up, you have a very good chance to just lose your special wall as you switched into Naganadel. Like, that doesn't make sense. Same thing with Heatran. You Nasty Plot as they go to their specially defensive invested Heatran. They Earth Power, which does not kill. After Stealth Rock, you go for Z Draco Meteor, and they just die. It's just ridiculous. Same thing with Tyranitar. +2, actually, I'm actually pretty impressed that +2 Tyranitar is able to just eat that up. I mean, +2 Naga can't even Oko Tyranitar. I guess that's not Z move though, but you get my point. And then, like, the most common defensive core at the time, well, I guess not at the time, I'm not really sure, but in general, the most common defensive core in, like, the second half of Sun and Moon was Celesteela, Clefable, Toxapex. Naganadel truly invalidates that core. And in general, yeah, it's a very annoying thing for Balance to face. More often than not, Balance has an extremely tough time facing this Pokemon. Now, that's not grounds for it getting banned. Yes, there are a lot of good wall breakers. Look at stuff like, even niche stuff like Hydreigon is a great wall breaker. But the reason that it was banned is because usually when Pokemon are this good at being offensive wall breakers and getting rid of balance, they're usually a lot easier for offensive stuff. Look at what I just said, Hydreigon. You don't see Hydreigon around that much because offense destroys Hydreigon. It's not quite fast enough, its typing is not quite good enough, stuff like that, but Naganadel doesn't actually have that problem. While it's not that bulky, I know its defenses aren't even that good, and it's outspelled by a lot of stuff. Like, as you can see right here, it says Greninja, Koko, Lopunny, a lot of relevant choice scarfers. The problem is Beast Boost when it comes to this mon. An offensive Pokemon with these kinds of stats, Nasty Plot, if it can wall break, it shouldn't also be able to clean up an opposing team. That's the problem that the OU Council found with this Pokemon, that if it can break and it can also sweep, and the point is that it can basically take on almost every single Pokemon. And then a big problem with this is that more often than not, it's very hard to limit this thing's potential when it comes to sweeping or cleaning. A lot of the times people say, okay, I mean, if you're using specially defensive Heatran, who cares? It's a good Pokemon anyway, right? But the problem with that is one, it's forcing a mon on basically every team. If you don't have Heatran or Assault Vest Tyranitar, you're at risk of getting swept by this Pokemon. There are very few things that can come in on this. And the other thing is that thanks to Beast Boost, Naganadel will always find good setup opportunities because it will force 50-50 scenarios. If it stays in and attack, if you stay in and try to attack this thing, hoping to see if Naganadel is gonna set up, so you don't have to worry about that. What if you get hit and then they get a Beast Boost round and then it could be over? It's stuff like that which makes it very frustrating because it has the potential to end up in a sweep, multiple KOs like it says right here, and it does end up becoming kind of a guessing game in terms of its coverage, and thanks to Beast Boost, which is really frustrating. And in a fully competitive game, every turn shouldn't be like that, which is definitely wrong. Other than that, what else did I want to talk about with this? Alright, so basically what I wanted to touch on is more about its counterplay and why that doesn't exist. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of exists because not every Pokemon is truly uncounterable, but this mon is like, you know, it's very close to. If you think about priority, I know a lot of people would be like, oh, just run Ice Shard, bro, that takes care of it. But Weavile and Mamoswine, the only viable Ice Shard users, cannot Oko this mon, which is obviously an issue, of course, because if you're saying like, oh, priority will stop it, you know, that's, you know, nothing's gonna happen. But it resists the most common form of priority now, which is Ash Greninja Water Shuriken, you know, which is obviously a problem. Priority in general can't Oko it unless you have prior chip damage and that kind of thing. And then I want to highlight a lot of these points right here. It doesn't I think I talked about this earlier. It doesn't restrict team building that much because most of the counterplaying close Pokemon that are already good. Exactly, but that's the problem. Stuff like Spadef, Heatran, Chansey, and all those don't actually beat it on the switch in. Yes, they can come, but like say Roxrup. Say your thing got chipped earlier. Say it got knocked off by Clefable. Say you switched your Heatran into Clefable to get up Stealth Rock, and then they knocked you off, and you know only did 10%, but you lost your leftovers. Stuff like that it'll just ruin it, which is a big deal. Another thing is not an unstoppable answer. I too agree with this 100%. This mon, the second you send it in, it doesn't just win. That is 100% true. That's true. That was true for Pheromosa. That was true for Blaziken. It was true for a lot of mons that got banned. It doesn't just instantly win, but it's gonna average 1 to usually 3 KOs in my experience, unless your opponent is running Assault Fist Tyranitar plus Spadef Heatran, which is like as good as it can get versus this mon. Yeah, of course it's not gonna do anything, but you need to think: should every team be forced to run a core like that to deal with it? It's predictable. I mean, yeah, I mean, it runs one set, and its one set is good enough to beat the entire metagame. If anything, that's not really a defense as to why it should stay in the tier. That means it should be out of the tier, because if one set is able to shake it up this much, and you know the set, and it's still doing all this damage, that's definitely a problem with the Pokemon. It's relying on Z-moves for KOs. I never really thought about this argument, but I guess it doesn't really like matter. Draco's still pretty strong and that kind of thing. So my opinion on this ban, at first when I started playing Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I did not think Naganadel was broken, but then over time, I changed my opinion and basically realized that it's definitely very good. I knew for a fact it was the best mon in the tier, and I did start believing that it was just a little too good for the metagame. Now, I wasn't sure if this mon should be quick banned, which is what happened here. There was no vote. It was just the OU Council of 7 people, I guess including myself, voted to ban this Pokemon. The alternative solution for this would have been to have a suspect test, which would have taken 3 to 4 weeks to do, which would have left this mon in the tier for 3 to 4 weeks. So in a sense, I guess I'm unhappy in the sense that, oh, I wish I could play around with this thing more, which honestly this mon's actually pretty good in Ubers as well, because its speed is good and Beast Boost exists and the coverage is very good. Like +2 Z Draco Okos Ho-Oh with max HP and Spadef investment, which is ridiculous. Like this mon will actually be really good in Ubers, I feel like. Jam was telling me, Jam and Joey, but yeah, basically they decided to just quicken the process and get rid of this Pokemon here and now, because down the road it will most likely, like I would put like money on it, 100% it would be banned in a suspect test if people voted, and it would just prolong for the next 3 to 4 weeks. So while you don't get to play with this thing as much, the whole point of Smogon's metagame is to make it as competitive as possible. There's going to be other servers you can play this thing on. You can play it in Anything Goes if you want. You can play it. You don't even have to play by Smogon rules. That's another thing, because I know there's going to be a lot of comments on this video from people who didn't watch the video, and they're going to be like, huh, I don't even know why I got banned. Ever heard of Ice Shard? Man, Smogon really just needs to evolve. I'll never take this website seriously. I can't believe these people think they know more than me. I mean, every Pokemon has Earthquake too, right? Why don't people just deal with it that way? Stuff like that is just, oh my god, it's so frustrating. Like I said, you don't have to think this mon needs to get banned. Like me, myself, I didn't think this mon needs to get banned. Like, I didn't think it needed to get banned at first. I was like, man, people are just whining. It's just an offensive, frail Pokemon. And then over time, I sort of made my own decision that, you know, it is broken. You can still disagree with this thing's ban, but as long as you understand why it got banned, that's like all I wanted to do with this video. I'm not pushing the agenda that, oh, this mon is banned. You should believe it should have been banned. You should take everything I say as a fact. But what I truly cannot stand is the people who are gonna make a... Actually, I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm not even gonna say anything. What I can't stand is when people don't understand just the grounds as to why it got banned or what happened, and then just get mad for no reason. That just pisses me off. So I really did want to do this video about it. What do I think for the future of OU, I guess? Honestly, I think balance will come back a lot stronger now that Naganadel is not putting the chokehold on it, forcing Heatran and stuff like that. Offense is definitely a little less... I guess it'll have a little bit more variation, because offense was basically just like 5 mons and Naganadel. I do like this Pokemon a lot. I really loved using it as well. I hated going up against it, so in a sense I am kind of sad that it like is gone. But if there's anything more I can say really about this Pokemon, is that it is going to be good in Ubers. So I know a lot of people always think like, man, this mon got banned, it's not going to do anything in Ubers now. No, dude, this mon will actually be good in Ubers. Trust me on that one. And yeah, I mean, it's funny because I didn't know if this mon was gonna get banned instantly. I really was concerned. I really was convinced there was gonna be a suspect first, just because I thought about this mon and I was like, I mean, it's kind of like Pheromosa, right? But then I realized Pheromosa even had counterplay, stuff like Clefable and Toxapex, which were so like ever so common. Oh, we're able to stop this thing for the most part. And then I realized with this mon, like, you just nasty plot up, you kill someone, you get a speed boost, you're sitting at +2 special attack, +1 speed, and it's just like, man, if I don't have a banded Weavile or a banded Mamoswine, and this thing has already taken damage because my Ice Shard doesn't kill, what am I really going to do? So I guess this is why Naganadel was banned. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on this is. I really hope whoever does comment watches the video, but I know a lot of people aren't. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like if you did. I'll have a video tomorrow probably, and later y'all. Peace.